If you didn't already watch the video on where I buy my Hermes bags, then I will link it down. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you watched my previous video, which was part 1, and that is where do I buy my Hermes bags from, aside from the store, which has only been twice. I haven't had the best of luck at the store. But anyways, my part 1 was where do I buy my Hermes bags. If you did miss that video, I'm going to link it at the very top in the description bar down below, so you can go and check that out, because this is part 2. And part 2 is where do I sell my Hermes bags. So where do I sell my Hermes bags when I'm no longer in love with them, or when they're not working out as I thought they would, or when I was just not totally satisfied with the purchase. Before I get into this video, if you aren't already subscribed, then please hit that subscribe button below. I would greatly appreciate it. I upload videos at least once a week, so please be sure to also hit the bell so you can be notified when I upload my next video. And to everyone who has already subscribed, thank you very much. Welcome back. Thank you for requesting this series. I have been asked multiple times, where do I buy my Hermes bags from? Where do I sell my Hermes bags? So hopefully this video is helpful to you, because after all, a lot of you requested it. I'm going to go through all of the places that I do sell my bags, and then I'm also going to list some of the places that I have inquired to potentially sell my bags. First one, I did used to sell bags on eBay. I still do, but now I only sell the bags that are of a lower price. So we're talking like bags that are under, say, $3,000, maybe $4,000. I'm okay to sell them on eBay. eBay does have seller and buyer protection, but unfortunately I have experienced scams through eBay. I haven't actually lost any money, but I've had some experiences that have kept me up at night, causing me stress and anxiety with buyers that have tried to scam me. Unfortunately, they were on the Hermes, like on an Hermes bag. So now I have learned my lesson. I do not sell Hermes bags on eBay. It is too high of a risk for such a high value item. But eBay is still an option. Say if you have an Hermes Picotin, an Hermes Evelyne, they are lower price bags, so you might want to sell on eBay. Just make sure that you're recording yourself when you're packaging the bag, you know, taking photos of the address of the bag, keeping all of the transcripts of the messages between you and the buyer, making sure that their address is verified on PayPal, like all these sorts of things. You really should make sure that they're ticking all of those boxes. Another thing I can also suggest is if you ever sell a luxury bag on eBay, you can actually check the history of the username, the eBay buyer's username. It's a bit hard for me to describe how to do it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert like a screen grab of me searching my own history of my own eBay username, so you can see how many times I've changed the username. I find that eBay buyers that have a big change, like a lot of changes in their username, say like 5 or more, and they're buying luxury goods, or even 4 or more and they're buying luxury goods, I would perhaps err on the side of caution and be very, very careful. The reason that people can actually scam you on eBay is mostly to do with chargebacks with their credit card companies, claiming unauthorized transactions through PayPal, and worst case scenarios is that they claim that the bag is fake and then they ship you a fake bag. So I have heard of some horror stories. However, eBay still can be a safe place to sell. Like I said, I've only had that one instance of selling a luxury good where someone tried to scam me. Otherwise, I've actually sold many of luxury bags through eBay successfully. So that's the first place that I would recommend, because we all do know eBay, but there is quite some caution you need to be aware of. The other one is Vestiaire Collective. Vestiaire Collective is now open to a lot of places in the world. Before, it wasn't available in Australia for selling, you could only buy, but now you can actually sell. And the reason I actually recommend Vestiaire Collective is what's so great about it is that you take all the pictures of your item and you go and put it up on Vestiaire Collective. They go and check it and they, you know, give it the A-OK. I'm not sure what they check it for. I think they just more so look at the price to see if the price is even going to sell for the price that you're asking for. I think they compare it to everything else that's sort of sold in the Vestiaire Collective market. And then they put your listing live, and then people can send you offers if you want the offer option available, or you can turn that off. And what's great about it is that you still have your luxury bag. You're still holding your bag until it sells. And when, in the event that it sells, you might get a notification that says your bag is sold. The buyer has 24 hours to pay for the item. Like, it'll say your item is sold. And then you wait for the buyer to pay. If the buyer doesn't pay, then your listing still stays live. Even the whole time, if your buyer doesn't pay, your listing is still live. When the buyer is paid, you get a notification from Vestiaire and they'll send you a shipping label. You print off that shipping label, which is generally, from what I know, it's always going to be DHL. Maybe it might be different in another country, but in Australia it's DHL. And then you book your pickup with DHL. You have to prepare some customs invoices, which Vestiaire sometimes forgets to send you, and you may actually have to ask Vestiaire to send you the customs invoices. Vestiaire Collective is a great place to sell. The only downfall is the fees. The fees, they have a table of fees. It is based on the item value. They pay all the shipping for you, and they are essentially the middleman, and they are taking on the responsibility. So you're not having to worry about any buyer trying to scam you and do a chargeback on you. That's all on Vestiaire Collective. Vestiaire Collective will send, once the buyer is paid and they've received your item, they've checked it, and it passes authenticity, it passes the description. You also have to make sure you describe your products correctly and include the right amount of photos, because if you don't, what may happen is they may turn around and say, hang on, you've said that this is very good condition, but this is only good condition. It's got quite a bit of wear and you didn't label it as that. So we are going to offer you to, you can sell it for the lesser price, and if the buyer accepts, then that's, you know, that's your choice. If not, we take the bag and we will sell it for the lesser price for you on your behalf. Like, that's kind of the thing you have to be aware of, so just describe it right. Another one that I recommend is Rebonds. They cater very well to Australia. They will take the product though and then list it on their website and advertise it for you. They do have a big market in Asia, like they cater a lot for Singapore, Hong Kong, but they are globally known worldwide. So Rebonds is another place that I do recommend. Another option is actually Facebook groups. Now, there are specific Facebook groups that you can sell your pre-loved luxury goods, and it's like considered a little luxury community on these Facebook pages. Now, there is a bit of a problem. I used to be able to recommend the Reetsy marketplace buy and sell groups. Like, they have these groups that are under the Reetsy umbrella, and they have all different groups, but I no longer can recommend them because for some reason I got blocked from them, and I do not know why. I've tried multiple times contacting the admin, asking them why I've been blocked, and they just like said, oh, we'll look into this, and nothing ever came from it. I then reactivated my old Facebook that I had from when I was a teenager, joined the group, and then I got blocked again, but I didn't even post anything. I didn't even send even one little word like on this page. I never even advertised anything, so I do not know what I had done to even get myself blocked. Yeah, so, which is kind of annoying because I managed to get myself blocked on like the Chanel group, the Hermes group, and don't even know why. I have no idea why, and I barely even listed on these groups because most of the time they're US buyers and they don't really want to deal with like someone who's abroad anyway. They mostly want to deal within US, which I understand. So I can no longer recommend those groups because you might be in the group one day and out the next and have absolutely no reason why, even though you've read the terms and conditions and followed it to a T, and still managed to get blocked, and then you get frustrated because you get absolutely no response from the admin. So I no longer recommend those groups. But there are some Facebook groups that I can recommend that are in Australia, and they're really, really, really good. The admin is super friendly. They're totally down to earth. I guess that's just the Australian way, right? So if you are an Aussie, I do have some Facebook groups that I can recommend that you can sell your Hermes bags and even your other luxury bags. The first one being Club Luxe Australia. The next one being high-end brands I love. The third one is ALL. I forgot what it stands for. Aussie Lux Lovers, I think is what it stands for, but the group name is called ALL. I'm going to try and stick to the places that I've actually already sold bags. So Rebonds was the one that I included that I haven't actually sold with, but I can recommend. But I'm just going to try and stick to the places that I've actually already sold Hermes bags through. And the next one is Anne's Fabulous Finds. Anne's Fabulous Finds, I love to consign with them when I can't find a buyer within Australia on the Facebook groups. I usually give it a little bit of time, maybe like about a month, and if I can't, then I consign with Anne's Fabulous Finds, because Anne's Fabulous Finds is based in the US, and they do have a massive US market. They aren't as big as Fashion File, but they have very loyal clientele, like very loyal people that follow them, because they have very competitive pricing. The owner is extremely friendly and she is very responsive. She gets back to you really quickly. If it's not her, it's the other ladies that work in her team. It's just really sort of, you can see it's a small business, but they're very passionate about delivering excellent customer service, and that really shines through. So I do like to consign with Anne's Fabulous Finds. Their commission is that you receive 90% of the portion of the sales price. Now that's a little bit tricky to understand because I've found that it's not exactly 90%. So it doesn't work out that they're taking 10% and you're getting 90%. It doesn't work that way because I think what happens is that they have to account for fees, like selling fees, like if it's PayPal, that sort of thing. So I think it kind of works out that their commission is around about 16% when it comes to selling items that are quite expensive, like, you know, Birkin, Kelly, Constant, that kind of price point. They do have a different bracket range though, so the lesser cost the item, the higher the percent, that sort of thing. Another thing with Anne's Fabulous Finds is that they do have a buyout option. I have done a buyout with them before when I did my Chanel Trendy, and I spoke about that in my worst purchases video. So they do have a buyout option, but generally not with the Hermes top tier bags. They usually only do it with like lower priced items, sort of items that are under $5,000. US sort of thing. So they do have a buyout option. You're welcome to ask them what is their buyout price and what is their consignment price. But yeah, my Hermes bags have always ended up being consignment with them. And in my experience with consigning my Hermes bags with them, they have always sold within like 2 to 3 weeks. I've had pretty good sell rate with them. So my Constance 18 Blue Electric is going to go live with them. It may already be live by the time I upload this video. Another place is Fashionphile. Now Fashionphile I have not consigned with, but I have used them for their buyout services. Unfortunately, in the recent say year, have been a bit slack when it comes to buyout on Hermes bags. But prior, I had absolutely no problem getting buyout prices on Hermes bags, Preloved bags. My Kelly 32 in CL, I ended up selling with them for buyout, and I only lost $300 Australian, which is pretty good considering it was a buyout option. I could have got more money if I consigned it. I could have got the same, like I could have got my money back if I consigned it, but I just knew that a Kelly 32 would be a little bit harder to sell anyway. It probably wouldn't sell as quickly, so I opted for the buyout. So Fashionphile is good to just try and get a buyout price, get a gauge for it, but they don't, I believe that they do not do consignment for Australian people, or even anywhere in the world. I don't think that they do consignment. Maybe Canada they might. But yeah, if you are based in the US, you can consign with them, you can do buyout with them. They generally won't knock you back in the US. I have heard of them knocking you back for buyout, maybe because they have too much inventory or something like that. Another buyout option is also rebag. Good option for selling your bags. Actually, when I ended up selling my Chanel Trendy with Anne's Fabulous Finds, Rebag was offering the same price. The only reason I ended up doing it with Anne's Fabulous Finds is because the bag was already there consigned with them to sell, so obviously it just was easier to just you know, do the buyout with them because they already had the bag. Now that is about all the places that I've actually officially sold Hermes bags with or tried to get buyout prices with. That is all of them, but I do have a few more that I can recommend. Also, I forgot to say, Yogi's Closet does do buyout prices. I have done buyout prices with them, but out of Fashionphile and Rebag, I actually find Yogi's Closet to be the very, very lowest, like the absolute worst with buyout prices. So I mean, it's worth a try, you never know. But yes, those are all the ones that I can actually think of that I've sold bags with, all the places I have sold my bags with, done buyouts with, or listed my bags, or even inquired about selling. But I do have a few more that I do know of that are very, very reputable. And that's The Real, but they only do within the USA, so that's kind of a downfall. There's also Bag Borrow Steal. They do buyout prices. I think that they may actually do consignment for worldwide. I'm not 100% sure. There's also Couture USA. I think they're only exclusive to USA, and I believe that they do buyout prices as well. I like places that do buyout and also consignment because you can see what the buyout price is, and then you can see what and then generally you're always going to net more in consignment anyway. But if you are wanting to get the cash fast, or you're just not wanting the stress of waiting for your item to sell, then it is always nice to have that buyout option. But there are some Australian places that I can also recommend, and these are pretty much all the places that I recommended as places that you can also buy your Hermes bags, but you can also consign your Hermes bags. Eurotrash is really good. They have very competitive commission. It's like commission rates as far as I know. The Purseonfleek, which has their own website as well as Eurotrash. Luxit Forward is also very competitive on commission. They have their own website and their own, like all of these have their own Instagram. Designer Archives is also another one. They're probably the bigger out of all of them when it comes to Hermes, so they're probably one of the best options, but I think they might have maybe perhaps a higher commission. And then the fifth one is Timeless Vogue. The only downfall with Timeless Vogue is that she's Instagram exclusive only. She does have a lot of followers though, because she's been recommended by other YouTubers. All of the Singaporean resellers, if you are based in Singapore, Singapore and you are based in Indonesia, all of them do consignment as well. All the ones that I listed in my part 1 video. So you got Your Authentic Seller, JLIG 99, Lux Biny, Femi Authentics, trying to remember all of them, Pantone 1448, OBSG, JHack 40, and also Finkel Puff. Finkel Puff is quite popular when it comes to consignment, but I didn't put her in my part 1 of recommended places to buy bags. It's because she doesn't accept PayPal, and my rule is you have to accept PayPal. But all of those places are good for consigning if you are based in Singapore, Indonesia. Sorry, you could probably hear like clanking in the background. It's my daughter playing on her cart. So that wraps up part 2 of where I sell my Hermes bags. Part 1 being where I buy my Hermes bags. And if you did like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!